So for my creative communicator project, I wanted to look at technology in the classroom. So first, what is technology? It's the application of knowledge into practical purposes. More specifically, technology really helps people complete tasks. So anything that helps you complete a task, or makes it easier for you, it's probably some form of technology. And in today's moment, it's integral to daily life. And we've seen classrooms shift from more of this sort of layout where you have classroom labs into this form where schools are now going one-to-one and every student has a device. The discussion then becomes, does technology even belong in a classroom? I argue yes for many different components, the first of which being deeper learning. Deeper learning is a pedagogical practice that I've been studying over the quarter that incorporates digital citizenship, communication, and collaboration across multiple borders and physical distances, as well as educational and learning distances. So students who have different ways of engagement can really use technology to their own benefit and engage with different types of materials. This matters to students' experiences because traditional schooling oftentimes leaves students disengaged, whereas technology looks to engage the student and create meaning in new, fun ways, incorporating tools that they use every day in their lives, such as smartphones. Incorporating technology into the classroom, it's important to root it in the ISTE standards so that students can learn how to be empowered learners, digital citizens in an active global community, knowledge constructors, innovative designers to think of new ways for complex problems, computational thinkers, global collaborators, and creative communicators. Coupling the integration of technology with the ISTE standards, disengaged students are able to participate in new and exciting ways, and this is also in part due to the use of a universal design for learning. Universal design and technology in tandem allow for multiple forms of engagement, representation, and action and expression for students in the classroom. Creating a universal design for learning is much like creating a cockpit for a pilot, as you would have to create a cockpit for the largest and also the smallest pilot for both to be able to use the equipment. You have to create a classroom that can fit the parameters of an excelling student as well as a struggling student. Examples of using universal design for learning in the classroom could be something as simple as creating multiple rubrics for different skill levels, but it could also incorporate technology much more proficiently with something like a OneNote translator service. So in my practicum class, we use OneNote a lot to take notes, and we convert our notes from the teacher into Spanish for a couple of our ELL students. And this feature is really practical to get students the base knowledge that everybody else is getting in the classroom, and then they can also interact with the notes and reply in Spanish and then convert those back to English, which is very practical into hearing their ideas, so we can incorporate all voices into the classroom. Other forms of UDL may include a Powtoon to help students represent what they've learned through cartoons. It could be something like a text compactor to help students navigate a complex reading by putting it into easier to read terms. You could use something as easy as a vocab grabber to help students define complex terminology and better understand the content. All of these different things are just ways to help students who are marginalized by their skill sets to better and more holistically represent themselves inside the classroom. Incorporating technology in the classroom can also establish a connection with the student's family, which otherwise may not be able to be made. Platforms like Remind allow teachers to connect with students' families no matter the language barrier. Remind offers a service where you can send notes home to families about their student in any language and they can be translated into any language. And so this eliminates some of the language barriers that exist and also allows for parents not to have to come in and be still integral to the student's learning. Having said that, teachers need to be mindful when incorporating technology of the socioeconomic status that they find themselves teaching in. And so if your classroom isn't able to access all these different platforms of technology, you must adapt your technological integration to that community. Based on your community and what access they have, what needs they have, you can then integrate some forms of technology to keep families and students in the know. In conclusion, technology must be integrated into the classroom in some way, shape, or form to create a more equitable atmosphere for all students to find success. With technology, you allow more students a seat at the table, and you also allow more students to represent their learning in diverse and meaningful ways to them. Through incorporating technology and embodying a deeper learning pedagogy, I can create an equitable classroom that is accessible to all my students.